In Stoicism, there's a powerful principle that helps you keep your mind steady, even when everything around you feels chaotic. It's not something mystical or out of reach. It's a real skill that anyone can develop. And that's exactly what we're going to explore now. I know you might be skeptical. You've probably heard promises of life-changing methods that disappear as fast as they appear. But this time, it's different. What you'll learn in the next few minutes can completely change the way you handle pressure and life's challenges. Are you ready to take full control of your mind? The first lesson starts with something simple but crucial. The way you present yourself to the world reflects what's going on inside you. Your body speaks before you even say a word. The way you stand, walk, breathe, and carry yourself doesn't just send a message to others, it directly affects your own mindset. Think about how your body reacts to stress, slumped shoulders, looking down, short and uneasy breathing. These outward signs are just reflections of what's happening inside. But here's the key. If you learn to control your body, you can change your mind. Imagine the impact of standing tall, keeping your eyes forward, and breathing calmly, even in tense moments. This isn't just about appearance, it's a silent statement of strength. By adjusting your posture, you send a powerful message to your brain. I am strong. I am in control. And over time, this becomes part of who you are. The way you carry yourself isn't just about looks, it's about identity. When you keep your head up and your shoulders open, you're not just showing confidence, you're shaping how you see yourself. You start to realize that you can face any situation with calmness and clarity. Every small choice matters. The way you breathe, how you get out of bed in the morning, the posture you maintain when dealing with challenges, all of it directly influences your mindset. In the middle of chaos, real strength doesn't come from reacting on impulse, but from staying composed when everything seems to be falling apart. So ask yourself, who do you want to be today? Someone who's pushed around by circumstances, or someone who stands firm and faces life with purpose and calm? The choice is yours. Second lesson, take decisive action. Don't just react. The power of acting with clarity. In the heat of the moment, when emotions take over, it's easy to react without thinking. A sharp glance, a poorly chosen word, an unexpected situation, and suddenly, we're controlled by impulse. Anger explodes, fear paralyzes, sadness makes us withdraw. But every impulsive reaction comes with a cost: regret, misunderstandings, and consequences that could have been avoided. Being calm doesn't mean being passive. It means understanding that true strength isn't in reacting instantly, but in acting with intention. Real power is in taking control of the moment and deciding your next move with clarity. When you react, you're letting something external control you. Someone's words hurt you, so you snap back. A situation frustrates you, so you give in to irritation. But when you act with purpose, you take back your power. You don't let outside forces dictate your behavior. You choose how to respond. Impulses can be tricky. Anger blinds you, fear holds you back, anxiety overwhelms you. And in every one of these automatic reactions, you lose an opportunity to act wisely. But when you pause, take a deep breath, and let clarity take over, you realize that calmness isn't weakness. It's a powerful tool. Real strength is about acting with awareness. It's not about suppressing emotions, but understanding them and not letting them control you. When your mind is calm, you see beyond the moment, beyond the provocation, beyond the impulse. You realize that what seemed urgent may not be that important, that what you wanted to say can be said differently, that not everything deserves an immediate response. What if, instead of reacting, you gave yourself the time to choose your response? How different would your life be if, instead of being dragged by events, you face them with confidence, knowing that every action you take shapes the person you want to become? Decisive action isn't about rushing or reacting automatically. It's about having the courage to wait for the right moment to act with intelligence. Real power is staying calm when everyone else loses control. Breathe, observe, choose, and act with clarity. Start acting with clarity. Stay calm, stand firm, and leave your mark by commenting, "I will be calm," below. And if you find value in these videos, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated. The next lessons, my friends, will reveal the secret technique. Let's keep moving forward. Third lesson, turn difficulties into motivation. Life has a strange way of testing our strength. It throws challenges at us that feel unbearable, moments when everything falls apart and the pressure is overwhelming. In these times, many people give up, believing they've reached their limit. But what if, instead of seeing difficulties as the end, You saw them as a fresh start. Challenges, no matter how tough they seem, always come with a hidden opportunity. When everything feels lost, when the pain is intense, and the path is unclear, there's a chance for something greater. The key is in how we choose to see adversity. What feels like pure suffering might actually be the seed of growth. In moments of intense pressure, a crucial question arises. What can I take away from this? How can this situation make me stronger? These simple questions have the power to change everything, because it's not the obstacles that define who we are. It's how we respond to them. Hardships can feel like a burden, but they can also be the push that drives us forward. Have you ever noticed that the biggest moments of growth happen when we're pushed beyond our limits? When it seems like there's no way out, and the only choice is to move forward and find a new way to exist. It's in those moments of vulnerability that real strength is born. Pressure doesn't come to break us, it comes to transform us. You might feel like you're falling, but maybe you're just preparing to rise. Every obstacle, every failure, every pain carries a valuable lesson. The people you admire, the ones who stand out, didn't get where they are by avoiding challenges. On the contrary, they faced the pressure head-on, turned pain into fuel, and transformed every setback into a stepping stone toward something greater. Now, the real question is, when the next challenge appears, what will you do? Will you give in to frustration, or will you see it as an opportunity to grow? Struggles don't have to be feared. They can be your greatest ally if you know how to use them in your favor. Because in the end, it's that very pressure that shapes you into the best version of yourself. Lesson 4. The calmness of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius is often remembered as a Roman emperor who carried the weight of a vast and turbulent empire. In his position, there was no escaping the pressure of decisions involving wars, political conflicts, and constant crises. Yet, when we look at him, we shouldn't just see a leader surrounded by power, we should also see an ordinary man, with his own doubts, fears, and limitations. His greatness didn't come from the absence of problems, but from the way he handled the challenges that came his way. It's impossible not to think about the struggles he faced. Picture this, standing at the front of an army in the middle of a war, with the eyes of soldiers and an entire empire fixed on his next move. His decisions could mean lives saved or lost, victory or defeat for a whole nation. And yet, what Marcus Aurelius showed was a rare skill, not the ability to control everything around him, but the ability to stay in control of his own mind and emotions, even when everything seemed on the verge of collapse. For Marcus Aurelius, the real battle wasn't on the battlefield, it was within himself. He understood that what truly mattered wasn't the external circumstances, but how he responded to them. Since he couldn't control everything happening around him, he focused on what he could, the way he managed his own thoughts and emotions. In his writings, Marcus Aurelius left us a powerful lesson, something simple yet profound. Life isn't about what happens to you, it's about what you do with what happens. These words are an invitation for all of us, a reminder that no matter how tough the situation, we always have a choice in how we react. Pain, frustration, fear. These emotions are part of life, but they don't have to control us. Marcus Aurelius didn't ignore difficulties, but he had the wisdom not to let them take away his inner peace. Think about your own daily struggles. Maybe they're not wars, but work pressures, personal challenges, relationships that require patience, fears, and insecurities. How do we handle these battles? Sometimes the instinct is to react with anger, panic, or fear, as if the chaos around us is beyond our control. But like Marcus Aurelius, you have the power to choose a different response. You can choose calmness, patience, and a mindset where your emotions don't dictate your actions. The calmness he embodied wasn't about running away from problems. It wasn't about pretending everything was fine. It was about facing challenges with a clear and steady mind. Marcus Aurelius knew he couldn't change the circumstances, but he could change how he dealt with them. He understood that real strength doesn't come from resisting pain, but from accepting reality and facing it with courage. If he could maintain that kind of peace in the middle of an empire full of chaos and responsibilities, why can't we strive for the same balance in our own lives? His serenity wasn't a gift he was born with, it was a daily practice, a choice he made over and over again. And that's the lesson. We can train ourselves to find inner peace, even when everything around us seems to be falling apart. True strength isn't about having no problems, it's about staying calm, clear-minded, and confident even in the middle of a storm. Like Marcus Aurelius, we can learn to choose how we respond to challenges, always remembering that no matter how intense the difficulties, Our peace depends above all on our own attitude. Lesson 5. Train your mind for chaos. Life, as we all know, isn't just made up of smooth moments without surprises. Out of nowhere, we get caught in a storm, unexpected news, a sudden change in our routine, or an emotional challenge that knocks us down. What once felt under control starts falling apart, and what seemed predictable turns into confusion and uncertainty. But what if there was a way to prepare ourselves better for these tough moments? Instead of hoping that difficulties never come, what if we trained our minds to handle the chaos that is, without a doubt, part of life? Getting ready for the worst might sound odd, especially in a world that values positivity, but an ancient practice called negative visualization has the power to strengthen the mind in a deep way. Instead of assuming everything will go as planned, you acknowledge that things might spin out of control. This isn't being negative, it's a mental exercise that builds resilience, preparing you for life's inevitable ups and downs. Imagine you're about to face a big challenge. Maybe it's an important presentation at work, a tough conversation with a friend, or a moment that will test your limits. Before stepping into it, take some time to picture the worst-case scenarios. What could go wrong? Maybe you'll get nervous, mess up your words, the mood might turn tense, or people won't react the way you expect. By mentally walking through these challenges, you prepare yourself emotionally for what's coming. At first, this might seem like a negative or even discouraging approach, but the real strength of this practice lies in the preparation it provides. By expecting difficulties, you become more capable of handling them. You've already felt, in your mind, the discomfort and frustration, which means you won't be caught off guard when the actual problem shows up. Your mind won't panic because it has already rehearsed facing adversity. This isn't about making yourself anxious. It's about building the mental strength to handle tough situations. When you allow yourself to picture the worst, you don't just reduce anxiety, you also increase your ability to handle anything that comes your way. This practice helps you understand your fears, limits, and weaknesses, giving you the chance to face them with more confidence. It might sound strange, but preparing for the worst can actually give you more freedom. When I first learned about negative visualization, I thought it meant living in constant worry or expecting bad things all the time. But over time, I realized it was actually a way to free my mind. Thinking about what could go wrong helped me face the unexpected with more clarity, without being scared of what might happen. It allowed me to see things in perspective, showing me that the fears I had weren't as big or terrifying as they seemed. Often, when we analyze our fears, we realize we already have what it takes to deal with them. Plus, when you expect the worst, you start thinking of solutions. Instead of being overwhelmed by emotions in the middle of a crisis, you've already thought about what to do, how to act, and how to minimize the damage. This boosts your confidence because mental preparation allows you to stay grounded, even when everything around you feels like chaos. This kind of preparation can be the difference between feeling crushed by difficulties and facing them head-on. Negative visualization reminds us that no matter what happens, we can get through it. The storm will pass. We may not control what happens to us, but we can always choose how to respond. By training our minds, we find the strength to move forward even when everything seems to be falling apart. So instead of hoping that the storms never come, get ready for them. Picture them, accept them, and train your mind. When they arrive, they won't be the end. They'll just be another challenge, one you've already prepared yourself to face. And in the end, that simple act of preparation will already be a big victory. Lesson 6. Breathe and respond with clarity. Pressure is something we all deal with at some point. Things change suddenly, and the weight of the moment starts to set in. Your heart races, your mind spins, and before you know it, you're on the verge of reacting impulsively, without thinking things through. In moments like these, instinct tells us to act fast, but the real secret is to do the exact opposite. Pause. A conscious pause. And it all starts with something simple but powerful: breathing. Taking a deep breath might seem too basic, but it's actually the key to regaining control. When pressure builds up, our bodies naturally go into a reactive mode. Our breathing becomes shallow, our thoughts get jumbled, and emotions take over. But when you pause for a moment and take a deep breath, you trigger a response that slows down this emotional storm, allowing your mind to settle and logic to take over. Imagine you're the captain of a ship caught in a storm. The wind is howling, the waves are rising, but by holding the wheel with steady hands and a calm mind, you can steer your vessel toward calmer waters. but this takes practice. Every time you feel pressure building or find yourself in a tense situation, your first instinct should be to pause, breathe, take a deep breath in through your nose, count to 4, hold it for a moment, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. This isn't just about relaxation, it's about giving your mind the space to prepare. Breathing helps break the automatic cycle of emotions, allowing your thoughts to settle and preventing you from reacting on impulse. A deep breath doesn't just fill your lungs with oxygen, it clears your mind, giving you a brief but crucial moment to think more logically about what's happening. That pause is essential. It allows you to think clearly before responding, helping you realize that what feels like an urgent reaction in the moment isn't always the best one. Giving yourself this time to reflect helps you assess the situation better and choose a wiser response. Instead of acting out of anger or urgency, you respond with more awareness and intelligence. Have you ever regretted reacting impulsively, saying or doing something without thinking, only to wish you had handled it differently? We've all been there. That's why it's so important to train your mind to step back before reacting. Breathing isn't just a technique for easing momentary tension. It's a shield against the destructive power of impulsiveness. And why is that pause so important? Because impulsive reactions are often driven by emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety. While these feelings are natural and even necessary at times, they shouldn't be the only thing guiding your actions. If we respond without thinking, purely out of fear or frustration, we risk making rash decisions that we'll later regret. But when we give ourselves a moment to pause, our rational mind has a chance to step in and guide us toward a more balanced response. Think about the everyday situations that put you under pressure: a disagreement at work, an irritating message, an argument with someone close to you. When you feel that tension rising and the urge to react quickly, remember that taking a pause is your greatest ally. Breathe deeply with the intention of observing the situation rather than reacting automatically. Ask yourself, what truly matters in this moment? How can I respond in a way that solves the issue rather than making it worse? This simple habit of pausing and thinking can be the difference between a heated reaction and a calm, effective response. Breathing is the first step, but reflection is what truly makes the difference. Breathe, then ask yourself, do I really want to respond with anger right now? Is this the best way to handle the situation? How can I act in a way that keeps both my inner peace and the situation under control? Even a brief moment of reflection can stop you from getting lost in emotions and acting on impulse. Remember, this isn't about ignoring or suppressing your feelings. The goal isn't to deny emotions, but to learn how to manage them. Breathing and reflection are powerful tools to help you stay in control of your reactions, rather than being controlled by them. We don't have to give in to the urge to react aggressively or hastily. We can choose to act with wisdom, patience, and clarity. In the end, pressure will always be a part of life, but you can train yourself to handle it better. With practice, you can teach your mind to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting without thinking. Breathing, reflecting, and acting with clarity are some of the most valuable skills you can develop. They will be your strongest allies when life's storms hit, helping you face challenges with balance, confidence, and better judgment. 7th lesson, the power of silence. Start using it. We live in a world where chaos and noise seem to be everywhere. Stress and pressure surround us, trying to pull us into anxiety and overwhelm. But it's in these moments of turbulence that true strength is revealed. Instead of getting swept away by the storm of emotions, you can learn to be the calm within it. How? The key lies in silence. Think of your mind like a lake. When the water is still, it reflects the sky clearly, without distortion, showing an accurate image of everything around it. But when the winds of pressure start blowing, the water ripples, becomes cloudy, and the reflection gets distorted. External chaos does the same to our minds. It pulls us away from clarity, makes it harder to see what really matters, and clouds our judgment. Silence is like an anchor, helping you keep your mind steady, like a calm lake, even when life's challenges rage around you. In Stoicism, mastering your mind under pressure isn't something that happens by chance. It's a skill that requires daily practice. It's about learning to act wisely rather than being ruled by emotions in the heat of the moment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that real freedom doesn't come from controlling what happens around us, but from controlling how we respond. He reminds us, you may not be able to control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. When you find yourself in a high-pressure situation, the natural reaction is to act immediately, whether out of anger, frustration, or fear. But a Stoic understands that acting on impulse rarely leads to good outcomes. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, silence becomes a strategic pause. This silence isn't just the absence of words. It's an intentional space to observe, reflect, and think before taking action. This pause gives you the chance to ask yourself, what's the best way to handle this right now? This inner silence is what separates those who get swept away by pressure from those who stay in control. It's like a skilled chess player who carefully studies the board before making a move. He doesn't rush, he thinks. In this sense, silence is the ability to see ahead before taking action, to take a step back and fully understand the situation. It brings clarity, strategy, and allows us to act more effectively without being ruled by the urgency of the moment. Silence should not be mistaken for weakness or passivity. In fact, it's a reflection of your inner strength. By choosing to remain silent, you are saying, I am not a prisoner of my circumstances. I am in control of my mind. This power comes from understanding that no matter how chaotic the world around you seems, your inner peace depends on your ability to decide how to respond. Even when everything around you feels out of control, you can remain steady. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, wrote, "What troubles people is not things themselves, but their opinions about things." In other words, what truly upsets us isn't the events themselves, but how we interpret them. Silence allows us to challenge these quick assumptions, to question them in a calm and logical way. It gives us the opportunity to slow down our thoughts, see the bigger picture, and realize that many of our impulsive reactions are not as necessary as they seem. Practicing mental control under pressure means intentionally developing this sense of calm. Instead of getting carried away by stress, you become a keen observer, someone who watches the inner storm from the outside. Instead of being overwhelmed by emotions, you notice them without letting them take over. They are like passing clouds in the sky. You know they will move on, so there's no need to fear them. Every time you choose a moment of silence, you train your mind to be stronger, more resilient, and wiser. You are telling yourself, I am bigger than any challenge. I can stay quiet, listen, reflect, and then act with clarity. In Stoicism, true freedom doesn't come from controlling the world around us, but from controlling our reactions to it. When the pressure rises, you will be able to stand firm, like a rock in a rushing river. Silence becomes your anchor, the place where wisdom and clarity meet, allowing you to make decisions with calm and confidence. The next time you feel pressure building and chaos threatening your peace, stop, take a deep breath, and organize your thoughts. This simple pause can be enough to calm the inner storm and bring back a sense of control. Silence isn't just a technique, it's the power of mastering yourself, of staying grounded while the world around you tries to throw you off balance. Lesson 8. How to be calm and decisive at the same time. In a world that demands quick decisions and instant results, the idea of staying calm while being decisive might seem like a contradiction. The constant pressure, fast pace, and overwhelming flow of information push us to act without thinking, to react before reflecting. However, real strength isn't found in how fast we respond, but in how clearly we make our choices. Imagine a different kind of battlefield. Think of a place where every move must be carefully considered, where each step requires full attention. Now, picture yourself acting with deep calmness, as if time were stretching before you, giving you a moment to think before making a decision. This sense of peace allows us to make the right choices, not by rushing, but by acting with confidence. Being calm doesn't mean being passive or inactive. Calmness is a state of awareness, a way of being present in the moment and fully aware of yourself and your surroundings, without being controlled by emotions or external pressure. It's like a steady flame in strong winds, continuing to light the way despite the challenges. When we develop this sense of calm, our mind becomes clearer and we can see things more deeply. Emotions don't cloud our judgment, and outside pressures lose their grip on us. It's within this space of stillness that truly important decisions emerge. Decisions don't come from anxiety or the urge to rush, but from the confidence that when the moment is right, we will know exactly what to do. This confidence is built through inner peace, not blind self-assurance, but the clarity that comes from reflection and self-awareness. It's when we are silent, focused, and present that we can take action with purpose and certainty. How many times have we made quick decisions, driven by the fear of making a mistake, only to regret them later? Often, our choices are shaped by the pressure of the moment. without the chance to really think things through. But when we find inner calm, we can see more clearly what truly matters, and our decisions become more accurate based on who we really are. Being at peace helps us separate what's urgent from what's actually important. When we take a moment to breathe and think with clarity, the right answers start to surface. Decisions stop being impulsive reactions and turn into deliberate, well-thought-out actions. Staying calm and decisive is a skill that takes patience. It means learning to trust our own judgment and intuition instead of being swept away by doubt or fear. By developing this inner stillness, you realize that true strength lies in acting with confidence and clarity, without rushing or hesitating. When we manage to stay composed, even in the face of challenges, we can make choices that reflect our best thinking, instead of being controlled by stress or outside pressure. So ask yourself, are you giving space for your intuition to guide you? Or are you just reacting to stress and anxiety? Calmness is the key to listening to your inner voice and making smart decisions, even when the world around you demands speed. Did you enjoy this video? Leave a comment below. If you're not sure what to write, just type, "I will act with clarity until the end," and I'll know you watched it all the way through. And if you haven't subscribed yet, take this chance to join our Stoic community. Don't miss the 2 great videos popping up on your screen right now. Keep deepening your knowledge and putting it into practice. See you soon.